Hi, it's the lead up to the federal election. It's on May 2nd, and tonight we're here at Candidate to meet the candidates from Edmonton Centre. We'll be asking them 4 questions. Each candidate is asked the same question. One is related to energy policy and Canada's role in implementing renewable energy initiatives. The second is related to voter apathy and engagement and what role the parties have. And the third is related to coalition governments and whether or not they work in Canada. Finally, the candidates are each given an opportunity to reach out to Edmonton Centre voters.
My name is David Parker and I'm running in Edmonton Centre, and my party is the Green Party of Canada. We have a policy called the Green Shift, whereby we take taxes and subsidies, remove them from things we don't want, called the bads, and put them onto things we do want. The revenue, the money is there, it's just a question of reallocating it. Tax the bads, not the goods. So currently we spend $15 billion, for one example, on the oil and gas industry in Canada. That's going to corporations who are currently doing very, very well, thank you very much. That money is needed elsewhere. So many people I talk to want to see this growth of the new economy, alternative energy, LEED certified houses, building codes and so on, clean food, agriculture, which is sustainable, and the money we get from taxing the bads and taking away all these disruptive subsidies would go to stimulating the green economy. Voter apathy is a problem in Canada, and I think it's largely due to the way, in recent years especially, our governments have been acting. Particularly the Conservative government has created a sort of combative atmosphere. To some extent politics has to be combative, but there's also an element of cooperation as well. And the Harper government seems to be totally opposed to that. I think the effect is on the public to turn them away and create this apathy. So we always run on a positive message. Our leader is very, very good, Elizabeth May. You never hear her say anything really bad. Criticism, sure, but not negative advertising. We don't engage in that kind of stuff. And we're trying to encourage the other parties to go back to a more civil way of doing things and bring people back to the polls. During the last election, by the way, the only party that increased their vote was us, the Green Party. Every other party, including the Tories, it dropped. I can't see any reason why a coalition government wouldn't work in Canada. It works in so many countries in the rest of the world. The reason why these other countries, like Germany is the best example, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, one of the reasons why it works there is because they have they create coalitions there is because they have a proportional representation system of elections. And that's true of most of the rest of the world. Canada and Britain and the United States are the exception to the rule. They have this so-called first past the post, winner takes all system. Whoever gets the most votes, no matter how many votes those are, could be a minimum of, say, 25%. If they get the most number of votes, they win. It works in most other countries and very effectively, and some of those countries, many of those countries are quite wealthy, and they don't have the aggressive policies we were talking about in the last question. They have to cooperate. Coalitions create cooperation by their very nature. If one party is going off on a tangent, like Brian Mulroney did, taking us into NAFTA against the wishes of all the majority of the population, and getting us the GST, which nobody wanted also, a coalition government would not have allowed that because it was against the will of the majority. So it's a very good tempering influence. I would like to say to the voters of Edmonton Centre to support the science on climate change. Climate change is the biggest, I'm quoting Stephen Harper, the biggest issue that's ever faced humanity. Now, to say one thing and do another is not very moral and ethical in my opinion. Also our dependence on oil. Every recession since 1973 has been preceded by an oil spike. And the last one in 2008 was that oil prices went up to $147. That was the major cause. Right now, oil prices are $110, so it looks to me like we're going to go back into another worldwide recession, which we haven't really got out of the first one. We must not lose our dependence on oil.